Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 2026 Mansfield State of the City. Please welcome to the stage Mayor Michael Evans and City Manager Joe Smolinski.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome to our 2026 State of the City. My name is Michael Evans, and I am blessed to serve as the mayor here, great city of Mansfield, Texas. And I have my good friend, and we really are that, our city manager, Joe Smolinski. Joe?
Thank you, Mayor. I appreciate it. I know I speak for the mayor and myself when I say we're really excited to be here tonight. We hope to show you a lot of the things that we've done in 2025, some of the accolades that Mansfield as a town has received, and then talk to you a little bit about some of the stuff that's coming in 2026. We've actually created a segment or a section at the back end of this presentation. It's entitled Coming Soon. So we'll tell you a lot about the restaurants and some of the opportunities to shop that are coming. And we have deliberately put that at the end of the presentation so none of you sneak out. So tune in.
Well, you're right about that. We don't want anybody sneaking out early. But listen, we have dignitaries in the room. Let me recognize all of our elected officials at this time. If you all would stand, we see members of our school board, Representative Turner. We also have Commissioner Simmons. Any others, please stand. Thank you all so very much for being here on today. And please allow me just to introduce a great team of individuals who I get the opportunity to work with. Councilman Todd Simmons is in the room already, so we appreciate him. Thank you, Todd, for coming back to number two. Also, our Mayor Pro Tem, Todd Tenora, we appreciate him, as well as Juan Fresquez. Also, we are happy to have, and I call him our elder statesman, Larry Brosh, Deacon Brosh. We appreciate him as well. We had Mr. Newsom, who was here with us earlier today, and Ms. Tamara Bounds, and I don't think I missed anybody. So we're in good shape. Ladies and gentlemen, those are the individuals that I get the opportunity to serve with really on a daily basis. No, we don't agree all the time on everything, but one thing that we do agree on is the fact that we love us some Mansfield, Texas. So please give them a big round of applause for the service and time that they give to our city. Joe, how about your team, buddy?
I'd love to introduce them to you. I've got a great team in the city manager's office. I've got Assistant City Manager Vanessa Marrero, Assistant City Manager Matt Jones, Deputy City Manager and Chief Financial Officer Troy Listina, and then two ladies that make our office run very smoothly, both Faith Morse and Olivia Romo. So if you wouldn't mind joining me in a round of applause for all those folks. Also want to recognize all the staff that's joined us here today. Everyone you got to meet out in the lobby. Hopefully you got to ask your questions, learn a little bit about your city, and as we go through the evening, hopefully you get to know some of your neighbors.
Well, all right. Listen, I think it's important for us to know and for you to know that every decision that we get the opportunity to make, it's based upon a question of what is it that makes Mansfield's families better? How can we enhance the quality of life of every person who lives here in Mansfield, Texas? Your voices matter. That's why you see us out in the community, in the neighborhoods, because your voices matter. We need to hear from you, and what you say to us, those are the things that we work very hard at, attempting to put into action, Joe. Those things guide our priorities, and you know that very well.
Yes, sir. I'd also like to say that the decisions that we make, cities aren't built by City Hall alone. It's really in partnership with our residents, businesses, and city leaders that we come to these conclusions and make decisions. So today, I want you to know that we'll always strive to be transparent, we'll strive to be accountable, and we'll strive to always work in the best interest of the city as a whole.
You know, when we talk about Mansfield, and you all have seen us on the news, you hear about the things that's taking place in our city, and we don't do that in a vacuum. So Mansfield, when we talk about it, it's more than just a headline. Mansfield is a story, building the future together. That story is continuing to be made each and every day. How has Mansfield evolved over time? Also, the data that you see regarding who we are as a city. And it keeps changing. It keeps changing on a day-to-day basis. I want to show you guys some pictures here. My wife and I, who is in the room, my wife and I, we arrived here in 1989, and Mansfield was a different place in 1989. You can see some of the industrial park there. Look up at that screen. You see that? And you'll see one of the neighborhoods that's coming up, the Hillcrest subdivision. How many folks in here, you've been in Mansfield since the 80s? Anybody in the room? 1, 2, 3, and I can't see because of this, but I see on this side, more so on this side than that side. But you knew and know what Mansfield looked like then. Then let's fast forward to 2007, and you'll see that middle picture there, and that was Big League Dreams. And you'll see also where the neighborhood is coming up around that. And now we know that that's the fields at Station 63, and boy, has that area grown. Then you think about it, you know, listen, I've been here since '07. Where the early 2000 folk at? Where are you at? All right, quite a few of you in the room. All right, then 2016, I was actually there at the groundbreaking of Toll 360. How many of you been here since then, 2016? Where are you at in the room? All right. We knew then that Mansfield was on its way. Mansfield was going and growing, and we could not turn around, couldn't come back. We were here. And now we have a brand new story. Stories being told every day.
You know, Mansfield was once a town that we all thought of as being out in the country. And today we've got a population in excess of 90,000 people. Let that sink in for a second. That's a really large number. And whether you've been here for a year, for a decade, or multiple decades, you continue to call Mansfield home for a reason.
You know, I think about that, 90,000. So in 1989, our population was 15,000. So that's crazy. You know, I tell you what's interesting. As our city continues to grow, you know, many of the people that you're looking at, or you're in here with today, you know, a lot of them have just gotten to Mansfield. But, you know, we continue to grow families. We find us new friends, new neighbors, you know, on a daily basis. And those friends, those new neighbors, they help to form our new narrative. They're doing it, and they love to call Mansfield home.
Yeah, as we look at this slide, I know statistics aren't interesting, so I'm not going to bore you with going through statistics. But, you know, Mansfield resides in 3 counties. We're located where Tarrant, Johnson, and Ellis all come together. And while we're at the intersection of those three counties, we are by no stretch of the imagination in the middle of the pack. You know, whether you compare employment rates, median household incomes, educational attainment levels, or the poverty rate, Mansfield continues to outperform all 3 counties in which we reside, the state of Texas, and even the nation.
You know, it was interesting, Joe, was the fact that we recognize that growth does not come by accident, nor does the planning that we have to do in town come by accident. It reflects, I believe, the choices in regard to the communities that's built up around us, and we're building together. You know, we've got some stats, some things to show folks in regard to just how we've grown. Why don't you share that with us?
Sure. You know, before we talk tonight about things that are coming to town, what happened in 25 or what happens in the future, I want to share some information with you. You know, when you look at the greater Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex, it's now home to more than 8.3 million people. 8.3 million people in DFW alone.
Mind-boggling.
That's right. And in fact, if you were to count our population, we would be larger than 38 states in the country. DFW is more populous than 38 states in the country. In fact, we would be the 13th largest state in the country based on population alone.
You know, that's crazy. I mean, that matters. That matters in how we continue to plan, how we continue to formulate what we want our city to look like. You know, you think about it, think about that size. We're going to be larger than the Chicago metropolitan area in the great state of Texas. Joe, the folks keep coming. We can't close the back door, as so many people would love to do. Once I get here, close that back door, keep those folks out. But they continue to come. And as you can see on that map, we continue to grow. And that has a lot to do with a lot of the things that we got going on right here in our town, doesn't it?
It does. It's also a byproduct of what we call the Metroplex bubble. And you can see up here on the screen, I was actually talking to somebody in the lobby that was asking about population and what's happening all around us and all that kind of stuff. And so we've got some slides for you. So what you see in red is what we refer to as the Metroplex bubble. And you can see the yellow arrow that points to Mansfield, or if you're colorblind like me, there's just an arrow pointing to Mansfield. But you can see we're tucked into the southern edge of that Metroplex bubble. And let's take a closer look if we can. Again, that arrow is pointing to Mansfield, but you can see that the population is already starting to pop up and explode in communities south of us. Now, have you ever heard the adage, communities grow where roads go? That's very true, and this particular slide will show you just that. If you look at where 287, US 287 goes south and then connects with I-35 south, you can see cities like Midlothian and Waxahachie just exploding in growth. If you look off to the west there, you can see where Texas Highway 174 comes through Burleson, Joshua, and Cleburne. So you can see those communities start to get more populous as well. And it's not going to be too far away where all of the incorporated and unincorporated areas directly south of Mansfield are going to experience the same phenomenon. The state is talking about extending Toll Road 360 from its current terminus at US 287 right in Mansfield and taking that all the way down to Venus, which will open up all of that property for development. And I think we're going to see that happen.
I tell you what's important, though. Here's the question. I mean, you mentioned Burleson, Venus. You mentioned, of course, Midlothian. We're surrounded by, we've got Grand Prairie, we've got Arlington, we have Fort Worth. But the question is, what makes us uniquely Mansfield, Texas? It's something about when you come to Mansfield. Of course, I was here in the days when we had the cowbell, back in the day. There's a sense of pride that we have about living in our town, and that's something that we want to always hold on to. What is unique about us. So we made some changes. We tweaked our vision statement just a little bit, and check it out. We say that Mansfield is a dynamic community where people are heard, where growth is balanced, and pride runs deep. We are uniquely Mansfield, Texas. And that passion, I think that's the kind of passion that really runs through the citizenry here in our town. We love being who we are. Even though we're growing, we are, but we're going to make sure that we remain uniquely Mansfield, Texas. And again, that's the way that happens, with balanced growth and hearing from you, our stakeholders, the folks right out there. So they're guiding principles. They're guiding principles that we decided upon some time ago in 2021. Joe, and you really helped to lead that. He won't take much credit for that, but he really did help to lead that, because as we grow as a city, and it was coming so fast, we wanted to make sure that we were pointing in a given direction. And that direction is true north. And we have been riding on those principles at least since 2021. Joe, would you kind of describe what true north is from the Army perspective, sir?
Sure. I won't tell it from the Navy perspective because they don't do any land navigation. Yeah.
Oh, God.
I got that one in early, folks.
We just have to transport these people, but it's all good.
Okay. Before I get started on that, any veterans in the audience?
All right.
Hey, good. So the veterans will be very familiar with this, and it's how we learn when we get dropped into a land navigation course that there are 3 types of north. You got grid north, which is the lines on a map. You've got magnetic north, which is where the compass points. And then you have something called true north, and that's the geographical North Pole, right? And you're always trying to get to that destination. So when we talk about True North, what we really mean is who we aspire to be, where we aspire to go, what we aspire to accomplish. So we use an acronym to point that out, and that acronym is NORTH. It stands for Noteworthy Essentials, Organizational Excellence, Remarkable Experiences, Together as One, and a Healthy Economy. And we're going to go through that this evening. But you can really see True North play out in the things that the staff does here every day to serve their community.
You know what, Joe, we've got a great video to watch, and I appreciate you bringing that forward to the council, because one thing that I do know, because I was in the Corps at UTA when we had our FTXs, and for those fellows that got lost in the woods, like people like yourself, they really had to learn how to work that compass. And we've got a video for you to check out. Joe, you did a lot of push-ups, didn't you?
Oh, that's it, Mayor.
I'm just saying.
911, location of your emergency. Okay, where are you at?
Yes, I'm at the intersection of Walnut Creek and Broad Street, and my car won't start.
Just turn your vehicle hazard lights on. I'll have the officers there momentarily.
472, copy of motorist assist, 703 East Broad Street, 703 East Broad.
One location of your emergency. Okay, where are you at? 501 Klein Tools.
412, copy of minor accident, 501 Klein Tools Boulevard, 501 Klein Tools. Occurred in front of the location, no injuries reported. Vehicle struck the water hydrant. Water utilities is en route.
Someone just hit a fire hydrant. All right, gotta go check this out.
Frank Tom X-ray 0990. Frank Tom X-ray 0990. It's going to be a blue Nissan Altima. Hey, good evening. How's it going?
Hi, so my car won't start. I tried turning it on and off, and it sounded like it was going to start, but it just wouldn't, so.
Okay, let me grab my jump box. I'll be right back.
Okay.
911, location of your emergency. Okay, what's the address? Tell me exactly what happened. Okay, and how far did he fall?
Do you remember everything before and after the fall?
Yes.
How long were you on the ground?
I was probably on the ground a half hour, 45 minutes.
All right, sir. Well, your vitals do look fine. Your pulse is normal range. Oxygen looks good. Blood pressure is within normal range. So as long as you're sure you
Good.
don't want to go to the hospital,
No.
we'll be on our way
No.
and let you get back to it.
I think tree decorating's over for tonight.
Yeah?
I'm good.
May not be the worst idea.
Perfect. Looks like everything's good to go.
Yes, thank you so much. I really do
Yes,
appreciate
absolutely. If you need anything else, feel free to reach out, okay?
Okay, thank
All right.
you.
Be safe. Merry
You
Christmas.
too. Merry Christmas.
Outstanding. I love that video. Good job. Bernie McCraney and her entire crew, communications, marketing, we thank you for doing an outstanding job. Also, we want to thank Dustin, Matt, Eliana, and of course, Reed. You guys are fantastic. So I have the pleasure of this time of announcing the Oscar. The Oscar goes to Tom Leach. Tom is in the house, ladies and gentlemen. Tom, way to go.
He is wearing those slippers tonight.
That's right,
by the way,
yes.
too, so.
All right, we're going to begin with Ian, noteworthy essentials. We're going to highlight those things that's important to each and every one of us in that regard. Joe, take it away.
Sure. If I were to ask you what noteworthy essentials meant, you'd probably say stuff like police, fire, streets, water, and sewer, and you'd be right. But there are a lot of departments that you may not be as familiar with that make civilized life possible for the rest of us that live here in Mansfield. So let's take a closer look at some of those departments.
You know, under the leadership, and I see Chief in the house, under the leadership of Police Chief Tracy Aaron, we are able to celebrate the fact that we're one of the safest cities in this country. We thank God for him and for his executive team and for the rank and file for the great work that they do. Look up there on that screen, 37,000 911 calls answered, 1,966 cases cleared. So ladies and gentlemen, you got to help me to thank our police department, people we are proud of. We are proud of. So proud that our community, you helped to support in the building of a number one facility that is visited by departments from around the country just to see and to be inspired by what you all allowed us to do for our police department. And I understand at least once a week they have visitors, people who come to Mansfield just to check out our own headquarters building. So again, folks, thank you, because it's one thing to say that you love and you appreciate your police, but it's another to show it. And we can't just talk about our police, right?
No, sir.
All right.
You know, under the leadership of Fire Chief Mike Ross, and I think I've seen him here tonight as well, you know, the Mansfield Fire Department continues to excel and continues to perform at an extremely high level. You know, over the past year, our firefighters and paramedics responded to more than right about 7,500 medical emergencies. And they responded to almost 7,000 fire calls. And they helped out our neighboring communities more than 80 times. So, as always, you know, the point there, I think, really reflects a deeper commitment.
Yes.
It's their commitment to making sure they're always ready, that they're always on time when you need them, and that they always work for the best interest of the community here. So thank you to the Mansfield Fire Department.
And that's a beautiful new building as well.
It is.
That's coming up. So we're also proud of that. So we're thinking about them also, and we make sure that they have number one equipment also. So.
That's right. So some of you have probably noticed that we're moving Fire Station 1 off of Main Street in historic downtown Mansfield, and it's being relocated to the intersection of Walnut Creek Drive and Broad Street. And this move, Mayor, is all about outcomes.
Right.
You know, it'll significantly help to reduce response times in certain areas of the city, and it'll improve our chance of success when someone's having something like a heart attack, where seconds really matter in that instance. And we want to do everything we can to shave time off of those response times. And you know, I think this represents a real forward-looking approach to taking care of city departments and whatnot, and reflects where Mansfield is today, and it also reflects where we're headed tomorrow.
And Joe, we moved that from downtown. Why? Speak a little bit to that.
Well, one, it improves response times to parts of town. But two, you know, if you talk to the chief, you talk to his engineers who try to get out of that station all the time, they'll tell you that it's really less than the best case scenario.
Yeah. All right. So we talked about public safety, and there's Broad Street up on the. No, it's not. The second most talked about thing in Mansfield is what, guys? Traffic, yes, it is. We
That
know
was easy. You guys got that
yeah,
one.
they
easy.
got that. Look, council also knows that that is important because we're in it as well. And we continue to invest in our road, our infrastructure, to keep up with the growth while also maintaining what we have and fixing existing infrastructure as well. In fact, over the past 5 years, we've significantly increased our just our investment in our streets and in our roads. I think it's important for you to know there are three strategic tenets that we highlight in regard to our streets and infrastructure. One is maintenance and operation. The other is our north-south, east-west connectivity. And the third is technology. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. Joe, we do have some finished roads.
We do. So,
and I gave
well,
that
wait
to
till you hear about 2026.
Yeah.
So, I just want to point out a few of these that most of you are probably familiar with. You know, if you've ever traveled down Broad Street or tried to turn off of Wisteria onto Broad Street, you know that we were in desperate need of a traffic light at that intersection, and we did that this past year. We're also, if you take a look at the Matlock and Cannon intersection, if you're traveling south on Matlock and trying to turn left on Cannon, that was a bit of a disaster. You know, so what we did is we extended the turn lane there, added more additional capacity to that turn lane so traffic would move more smoothly through it, at least heading south.
Yes, sir.
We've worked on other roads that many of you are familiar with. Daymeyer Road on the west side of town. We completed that.
I see somebody clapping. I saw that. The lights are blinding, but I saw somebody say, yeah.
Now, the thing about Daymeyer is if you had children that went to Lake Ridge High School, yeah, that was a disaster. While it's under construction, I got a comment for that when we come to it, back to it later. But, and then South Holland, we made some improvements to South Holland. We've got additional improvements to make that are phased in. And then Gertie Barrett Road. Anybody a fan of Gertie Barrett Road, the improvements we made to Gertie Barrett? This morning, we had a lot of people that lived in that area.
Barrett,
So when I said
right.
Gertie Barrett, it was almost, a standing ovation. It was crazy. But, yeah, we've got a lot done. We've got a lot left to go.
All right, so now the navigation from north-south, we checked that out in regard to some of those projects. As you look at the screen, what you'll see is crews will be extending Matlock Road south from Heritage Parkway to River Birch Drive. That is a crazy expensive project, but it's happening. I heard the clap. It's happening. It is coming. Joe, how much money?
It's a $26 million project. I know.
Yeah, see,
but there's
we felt
good
the same
news.
way. Give them the good news.
Good news. Well, working with the North Central Texas Council of Governments, we were able to obtain, working with them, a $20 million grant to reduce the cost of
That's
that
the
road.
good news. That's the good news. Also, we're creating connectivity. Again, as you check out the screen, connectivity between New Patterson and Broad Street. That area, that's going to be called the West Hill Parkway. And now you'll be able to alleviate some of the overflow traffic in the downtown area. So we're excited about that. As you can see, this stuff is taking place. It's happening right now.
You know, Mayor, you talked about north-south connections, and those are both new roadways, which is critical. But maintaining and replacing the existing roadways is just as important. So I'm going to focus on that when we talk east to west. Everybody's had a chance to look at, go back one. Everybody had a chance to look at the screen. Anything look weird to you? Yeah. What?
Yeah.
East points left,
What's wrong
right?
with that sign? Yeah.
Well, it's correct if you take the picture from the north. Right. I wanted to take that slide out, but they said leave it in, and so there you go. All right, so get ready for improvements to Heritage Parkway. A few years ago, we came in and did the westbound lanes between 287 and South Main. We did a full-depth reconstruction of that portion of Heritage, added a lane to it, and then did some intersection improvements as well. And this year, we'll begin work on the eastbound lanes. We'll, again, full-depth reconstruction between South Main and 287. We'll also add another lane to that and do some additional traffic or intersection improvements. So we're looking forward to that one. And, you're going to notice a trend in these presentations if you haven't been to them before, which is the mayor's going to talk about stuff like puppies. I'm going to talk about stuff like sewage and Broad Street. And some people, I had someone this morning say the same thing. So, yeah, that threw me off my game a little bit. But this is everyone's favorite roadway. It's Broad Street. Well, we know Broad Street backs up significantly, especially in the area of 360. Really backs up during rush hour, be that in the morning or in the evening. And this project will actually do a full depth reconstruction and add capacity to Broad Street between the fire station and 360. We'll also make some wider entrances to that intersection as you travel over the bridge. So it'll make your drive much more pleasant.
We'll go to technology in regard to our roadways, streets, and infrastructure. One of the things that we know, is that we need technology now to help to move us even through intersections. That's so very important. And that intersection technology is good for us because now when our fire trucks and emergency vehicles are coming through with this new signal technology, it can help to clear traffic out 10, 15 seconds early or in advance, which you all know that that cuts down on the response time, because if somebody is in trouble, we want to make sure that they get the help that they need. So we appreciate the fact that we now have that, and we're investing in that. Now check this out. We are now working with Vantage AI to introduce new safety technology. This is at Main and Broad Street. This is at night, and you will see what's taking place right here. These cameras, this particular camera that we now have there, that technology can better recognize pedestrian traffic to alert drivers and create a safer crossings. I mean, I think that's mind-boggling. But again, we can see you. And that is so very important. That keeps people good and safe. Speaking of good and safe, the movement of water in and out of the city is so very important. Water in, when we turn on our faucets, we get good, clean water. And of course, water out. That's important. We know, and we learned in 2021. My goodness, when these storms come through, it means a whole lot if you've got a good water treatment system here in Mansfield. Our water never stopped flowing. And that's also right. In 2026, just a couple of days ago, we again saw how very important that was. Joe, you cut your teeth in this area about 25 years ago, buddy. Why don't you talk a little bit about that?
I did, but before I talk about that, I want to point out we've got an executive director of Public Works, Jeff Price, back there in the back of the room. Jeff, raise your hand if you would, please, sir.
His team keeps the water flowing. Give him a big... Thank you, Jeff.
Even more important is when you're done with that water, he gets it out of your house. Much more important. So what you're looking at on the screen right now is the Bud Irvin Water Treatment Plant. And this is where I began my career 25 years ago with the city of Mansfield. And it's one of the most technologically advanced water treatment plants of its kind. In 2025, they treated more than 6.7 billion gallons of drinking water at that plant. Wow. 6.7 billion, and that's a lot of water. The treatment plant, too, though, has to keep pace with existing demand and future growth. So an expansion will begin in 2026 that'll take the daily treatment plant capacity from 45 million gallons a day to 63. So this expansion will make sure that Mansfield is keeping up with existing and demand and future demand, so they're future ready.
Yep.
It will also make sure that they stay on the cutting edge of evolving technology. All right, so now on to sewer. Mansfield doesn't have its own wastewater treatment plant, and that's a good thing.
That's a good thing.
Have any of you ever visited a wastewater treatment plant or driven by one? Yeah. If you have, you know. You definitely know. All of the wastewater that we send out of Mansfield goes to one of two Trinity River Authority wastewater treatment plants. For most of you, when you flush a toilet or run a shower here in Mansfield, that waste goes all the way to Interstate 30 and Loop 12. That's an incredible feat of engineering.
The poop rolls downhill, buddy.
Yeah, it does, Mayor, yeah. Yeah, more ways than one. Yeah. So poop rolls downhill. Thanks, Mayor.
I'm just saying.
You know, but I think it's important to point out here, I got to do it to you,
All
Mayor.
right, well, go ahead.
So the second treatment plant that we send
Oh, here we
wastewater
go.
to, here you go, goes down south to the Mountain Creek Regional Wastewater Treatment Plant. And when they treat it, it's clean. They dump it in the Trinity River. Yep. Which travels, it basically follows I-45 down to Houston.
Here we go.
And it
Here we go. Here goes the Houston stuff.
it goes into Lake Livingston.
Oh,
Does anybody know where Houston gets its drinking water? Lake Livingston. That's right.
Here's the deal. He's giving a former Houstonian a hard time. Born and raised in Houston, but that's all right. At least our football team went to a playoff game before Moses was away. I'm just saying.
Don't worry. This next joke is for all of the Texans fans.
I'm just saying.
So we have a saying in our industry, in the water industry, flush twice, Houston's thirsty.
Oh, gosh, no. He could have kept that one.
That's for all you Texan fans out there. But, you know, getting back to serious business here. We treated over 6.7 billion gallons of water at the Bud Irvin Water Treatment Plant in 2025, but we only transported 2.5 billion gallons of sewage to one of the two plants, or to both plants. And there's a significant difference between those two. And the difference really is primarily attributed to what we throw on our lawns, landscape irrigation. So one of the strongest and most important conservation measures or future supply strategies is conservation. So in the decades to come, you'll see changes again to toilets, water fixtures, all of that kind of stuff, and probably regulation on how often you can water your lawn.
You know, Joe, and again, you're right. On a serious note, in regard to water as a commodity, we actually have cities in the Metroplex that's running out of water, and they have to stop, you know, just even city function. So we are a very blessed community, even that we get the opportunity to sell our water, because that's a big thing now. It's a big thing now, am I right?
It is. I actually had a conversation with a city manager from a town down south yesterday, oddly enough, but this is true. Had a conversation with them, and they have lost half their treatment plant capacity because they didn't maintain what was going on. So right now they're under a boil water notice. They can't fill their water towers, so they can't keep pressure in the pipes, and that's a bad thing. So the lesson that city is really learning is you have to continue to reinvest in that critical infrastructure. And again, Jeff and his team do a wonderful job doing that, and the city council does a great job as well, making sure that they have those resources.
All right. So we'll move now to the puppies. And
I told you, sewage to puppies.
And the good things about the puppies is that, as you can see up on the screen, we will be opening real soon our animal shelter and our care center, state-of-the-art animal care center. And also, it's going to be the location where we will have our first public arts piece as well. It's going to be a great unveiling. So we are quite excited about that. And again, that's another place where we'll have folks coming through, checking out the great work that you've allowed to take place. So now we come to the organizational excellence. You can't have a city that's running a good way that our city is running without having the right employees. As the city council, our job is to hire a good city manager. The city manager's job is to hire good folks, rank and file, to help to keep things going. Joe, you all have done an outstanding job. We're talking about over 600 employees, am I right? In order to make that happen?
It takes 638 people, not full-time equivalents, but you got some part-timers in there as well, but 628 people to run the city.
So, when you think about the accolades, some that you're going to see, we're going to run right through them. These accolades are not necessarily attributed just to an organization, but they're also attributed to the great work that the folks do, and also that the great work that you allow us to do, and that you do yourself. So we're going to talk a little bit
Mayor,
about that.
before you go, I really want to point out, because we have a lot of them in the room,
Yes.
that while I appreciate you saying that I've surrounded myself with great people, and that is a true statement. I've got an incredible management team. We've got fantastic chiefs and executive directors. They're the ones that actually go out and build the teams in individual departments. So I'm really grateful to them. They do a fantastic job, and I think you're going to see those results play out in the next several slides.
All right, let's talk a little bit about them. And again, we'll just kind of run through these, but it's important though. Redfin voted us to be one of the most affordable Texas cities to buy a house in, and that's based upon the strength of housing, things of that nature. Consumer Affairs, one of the best Texas cities to move to because of our strong job market, quality schools, safety, and cost of living. As we keep moving, you'll also see U.S. News and World Report voted Mansfield 27th best in the country, 9th best in the entire state of Texas because of opportunities that we have here, livability that we have, and quality of life together as a place where our people can continue to grow and do well. And National Night Out. So many of you were a part of that. You helped us to get this award. We were voted number 14 in the United States, in the entire country, as having one of the best National Night Out programs. That's you. You did that. All of our neighborhoods, thank you so very much for making that happen. And Joe, we've got others.
Yeah, Mayor, I appreciate it. I'm going to take this section because it's all about the great work that these departments have done.
Sir.
But before I do that, I want to make sure everybody knows that the departments don't do what they do to win awards. Awards are simply a byproduct of the fantastic work that they do. And I think you'll agree. Texas Library Association recognized Mansfield as having a fantastic library system, and they received the Achievement of Excellence in 2025 for all of the programming that they do. As a matter of fact, one of their core tenets is to make sure that they're serving all age groups from pre-K up to seniors. And when I say seniors, I'm not talking about high school seniors. I'm talking about people like the mayor. Yeah, that one's...
You see, I'm letting him go. I'm letting him go. He's shorter than I am tonight, but it's all good. Go right ahead, buddy.
Yeah. And so the Mansfield Parks and Recreation System, everyone in town loves our parks. We hear about that all the time. They, again, received the National Gold Medal Award for Excellence, demonstrating exceptional leadership, long-range planning, and fantastic programming. And I think it's really a commitment to delivering high-quality services in the parks. Additionally, they were named one of the top 4 parks in the entire nation.
Yes.
In the entire nation. So,
what do you say, number 1?
Number 1. So we've got our Executive Director of Community Services, Matt Young, here tonight. So Matt, back in the back, if you would raise your hand, please. A round of applause for Matt. The incredible team that he's put together. When we talk about planning, the American Planning Association's Texas chapter recognized our planning department for excellence in community planning. And that's because of their thoughtful long-range vision.
Yes.
They want to make sure that the city is taken care of. We have great neighborhoods, we have great civic places, and that we're fiscally sustainable moving forward. So it just ensures that the decisions we make today are aimed at protecting tomorrow. So we have Executive Director of Planning Development Services, Clayton Comstock, back in the back. Clayton, if you would raise your hand. Round of applause for that team. They do a fantastic job. And then I want to talk about the fire department a little bit. You know, the Mansfield Fire Department continues to have their ISO Class 1 rating, which puts them in the top 1% of fire departments around the country. So the top 1% there. It's for their emergency communications, highly trained personnel, great facilities, and really that all is aimed at protecting this community.
And it says also reliable water supply.
Reliable water supply. So they all work together. Is Chief Ross here tonight? No? Oh, nah, he bailed on us. All right, we won't applaud that. I'm kidding. They're fantastic. We applauded earlier.
So again, all of these recognitions, we don't pat ourselves on the back. We thank you because you make it happen. So to each and every one of you who have participated, and by the very fact that you live in the city of Mansfield and you love calling Mansfield your home, we get to be recognized. So again, hats off to you and applause to you for who you are as residents of our city. Thank you all so very much in that regard. We're at the R, remarkable experiences, and you talked a little bit about the library. Who visits our libraries? A whole lot of people. 85,958 library visitors, 671 programs offered. I mean, when you think about the library, at the core of the library, what does it do? It helps to connect generations. It helps to connect our community, connect cultures, and how very important that is. You'll note in regard to programs, you're talking about over 25,000 programs. Listen, I believe that you can agree with me that our library system in Mansfield is number one, and they deserve all the accolades that they receive because of the fact that you visit them. And also, they even run a mobile unit through the neighborhoods in our city. So that is quite outstanding. Our parks, yes, who's been to Rose Park? Anybody been to Rose Park lately? Isn't it outstanding? We've talked about the fact that our parks are the best in the country, but not only that, I think it's important to note that we are on a trajectory of attempting to have a park at least 10 minutes, about a 10-minute walk from every one of our neighborhoods here in town. We are working hard to make that happen. In the past 10 years, we've added 21 parks and facilities across the community. So this is something that we are actively doing, and we are quite proud about that.
Talk now about the Walnut Creek Linear Trail. How many of you use the linear trail? Yeah, it is. When we do our citizen satisfaction surveys, it's one of the top things that when we ask people, what do you enjoy about Mansfield? What are some of your favorite things?
Yes,
the
sir.
Walnut Creek Linear Trail consistently shows up in the top of that. A few years ago, we put a bond proposition on the ballot to extend Walnut Creek Linear Trail. And it came with it a tax pledge. So the voters approved that. They voted to increase their taxes to extend the linear trail.
Sure.
We ended up not doing that, but we're going to come back to that here in a little bit. We recently added almost four miles to the
So we
linear trail.
extended the trail, but not the money.
That's right. And prior to adding these last 4 miles, the 20 years prior to that, we made about 1.9 miles of trail. So we're making significant strides there. And our goal, Matt's goal is in the Parks Department, it's ambitious. He wants to add an additional 2 miles of trail each year.
Outstanding. It is outstanding.
Now, I'd also point out that when you talk about community development, it's not all about bringing in new businesses, new buildings. It's not about roadways not all about roadways in concrete. It's also about preserving open space and protecting the environment. What you're looking at on the screen is part of the 100 acres that the council acquired this past year up on the northwest quadrant of town, a 100-acre nature preserve. So this won't become anything. It is a park. It is a nature preserve. And how many of you have been to Oliver Nature Park? Anybody? That's a lot. That's a lot of folks.
Sure is.
Just to give you some perspective, Oliver Nature Park is about 80 acres. So the nature preserve, yet to be named, will be about 100 acres. So we're really thrilled about that. I think what we're most thrilled about, though, Mayor, is we're looking forward to the remarkable experiences that are waiting to be had by Mansfield families when we get that open.
Joe, also, when we talk about development isn't always just laying down cement. It's being intentional about these gathering spaces. And again, as our community continues to grow, we are going to have to be more intentional about what that looks like. And one of those places is Geyer Commons. And Geyer Commons is going to be opening February the 27th at 5 p.m. We are really excited about that. I think you all have tasted some of the wares of some of the individuals who will be there at Geyer Commons. City Sweets Chocolatier, there we go, Comeback Cookie, Mama Moore's Gourmet Popcorn. I think some of you, I saw it, some of you are eating all of that right now. So that's a real good thing. It's going to be a place, again, where you can gather. You'll see Mansfield past, present, and the future. It's an incubator space for entrepreneurs. Also, it's a park space. It's going to be a place where we will be reconstructing some vintage homes, things of that nature. And you're going to have the Old Rock Gym there, the old administration building there. But again, it's going to serve as the gateway to our newly renovated downtown area. It's going to
And
be that
also
place.
to the cultural district.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And also speaking about culture, and as we all come together here in the city of Mansfield, many of you were a part of this mural, painting this mural located at Smith Street. And we have several other projects just like that that's going to be taking place where the citizens of Mansfield all come together. We come from many different places and spaces, but you know what? We've learned that we have a whole lot more in common. And we've got another mural project that is going to be taking place. We're going to be painting on that on Saturday, but it won't be outside because it's going to be crazy cold. This is going to be done on the inside because we want people to show up. And we know that if it's inside and it's nice and warm, then we're going to get a beautiful product. So we are really ecstatic about that. All right, so it's important to note as we move along in regard to our presentation, together as one, all of us working together. A council does not operate in a vacuum. All of us have to work together. We have to hear from each and every person, as many as we can. We have dozens of councils and boards, and listen, many of you have made the first step. You are here today. We need you. We ask you to get on board and to help us as we continue to plan out and develop our city. We stay grounded, I believe, with a real world mentality because you bring that to us. You help us to know what our character is as a city by expressing, by sharing that information with us. So again, we just look forward to you being a part of our boards and commissions and also just bringing your ideas to the forefront so that we can be a better place to live, to work, and also to invest in regard to our city.
Of course. So we'll talk now, because we're talking about together as one, we'll talk about a couple of our public-private partnerships. And everyone's heard of Big League Dreams, but that's got a major facelift this past year and reopened as the Fields at Station 63. Since opening the Fields at Station 63, they've had 13 different tournaments with about 2,000 athletes at each tournament, 3 skills camps. They've added 30 teams to youth and adult softball, and they've had 30,000 people walk through the gates there so far. That's more than we could have hoped for. We're really happy. It's a great place for people to go and meet and bump into folks that they might not otherwise get a chance to. And I want to point this out. Is Teresa Cohagen in here? She's our Executive Director of Community Engagements. Stand up, Teresa.
Does an outstanding job. Thank you, Teresa.
Teresa and her team are the ones that help get out there and bring some of these tournaments to town, bring people in here to shop and eat and stay and all that kind of stuff. This weekend, we're hosting a Division II collegiate softball tournament. It's happening here in Mansfield this weekend. So that's the girls softball collegiate Division II championship. So Teresa, fantastic job you and your team are doing. We appreciate that very, very much. We'll talk about another public-private partnership. Everyone familiar with Hawaiian Falls out there by 360. This is probably not the crowd that slides down these things. I am not their demographic either. Make no mistake about it. But this is a public-private partnership.
Yes,
Kids absolutely love it. Hawaiian Falls will be opening in May under new management, and that new manager is Ripley's Believe It or Not.
And we believe it.
If you can believe that.
Yeah, we believe it.
Yeah, they open again in May.
And now, in regard to partnerships, y'all see our newest partnership with the North Texas Soccer Club. I'm going to ask a gentleman who would know a whole lot more about this than I do, who is the general manager. as well as the vice president of the North Texas Soccer Club, because all I know to do is kick the ball, and I know that you can't touch it. And I want you to try to tell me where his accent is, see if you can pick up the accent. Matt Denny, why don't you come on up and tell us about the North Texas Soccer Club. Welcome to town, buddy.
All right, I will try and be as quick as I can, but I just want to obviously say we are so excited to be part of this great community. I want to take the opportunity. Everyone knows there's a stadium being built. Everyone knows there's a soccer team. I just wanted to share what we're about. So you can see from the board, we are in the MLS ecosystem. We're the professional affiliate to FC Dallas. So we try and replicate everything FC Dallas does. And I want just to share how elite we function. We've got players that we project to the first team, and that's what our goal is, to project those players through. We have performance coaches that are managing players' GPSs. Every single training session, every game, they know how far they've run, how fast they've run, how much they've decelerated, accelerated. We have video analysts that have a drone every training session, and they're filming and mapping out and reviewing training sessions and games with players. We have scouts around the world that are trying to identify top players to bring in, and we're just really focused on the elite level and these prospects that we see being the next generation of talent. The only thing we don't do like the first team is fly charter. We still fly commercial, unfortunately, to our road games, but we're really an elite level team that functions at that level where we're trying to promote that next generation of talent. We'll have players in the World Cup that are playing in the World Cup that have played for North Texas, and a great example of that is our first signing, Ricardo Pepi. So we signed him at the age of 15. He scored a hat trick in his first game. Before we knew it, he made the first team, got sold to Europe. He's playing at PSV Eindhoven now. And if you read the newspapers in England, there's a club in England trying to buy him for 33 million euros, and they turned it down because it's not enough. This is the kind of player that we're having for our system. So you can see, and I always say, people remember when they saw Michael Jordan play when he was younger. People still come up to me and say, I saw Ricardo Pepi score that hat trick the first game he played. So we're bringing in these special talents that we're going to push through, and you're going to see some exciting soccer, and we're going to put a lot of energy. These are our assets, and we put a lot of not just financial energy into it, but time and dedication to make these players develop. And we see this stadium as being that next step for their development. They're going to play in front of great crowds in a world-class facility, and we're just so excited to be here. So the last thing I'll just share is we're dedicated, and we see our responsibility to be a community club. We don't want to come in and just play games. We want to be part of the community and use sports as a vehicle to grow and add to the community. So we've already done $20,000 worth of donations of equipment to local charities. We helped with a Habitat for Humanity build in the community. We're going to go read to schools. We're going to do a lot in this community, and we're just getting started. So we just want you to know that we are here. We know our responsibility for community, and we're going to build a team that you're proud of, not just on the field, but off the field too. So we thank you for you, and we can't wait to get the ball going. Thank you.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it. All right, so how many of you are good at accents? I love Matt's accent. How many, if you picked West Texas, you're right. Good job. Good job. Good job. Good job. All right, now we're at H, healthy economy. We know that in Mansfield, we've got to have a strong, diverse economy. That means that helps Mansfield deliver those services that each and every one of us need and that we pride ourselves on. And that is so very important. So by balancing growth across business, retail, industry, restaurants, and all of this kind of good stuff, it helps us to fund all of our essential services. So we're going to talk a bit now about our healthy economy. We continue to celebrate the fact that for the past few years we have been able to raise the homestead exemption. We continue to work to make that happen, as our goal is that 20%. Joe, you know that we're trying to do the very best we can, and we appreciate staff working with us to help to make that happen.
Yeah, you won't be able to do it every year, right?
That's
but
correct.
the effort is always to increase the homestead exemption. But we're also acutely aware that the homestead exemption applies just to property owners that live in their homes. So it doesn't touch all of the taxpayers around town the same way. With that being said, you make an effort to lower the tax rate in order to capture everyone's tax rate.
And you know, we're especially proud because over the past 6 years, we have done the very best we could to continue to lower the tax rate. And again, it's because of discipline stewardship and also thoughtful growth. And we have an outstanding finance team that helps to make that happen. And it's always our commitment to doing just that. So again, we're trying to make that happen. You know, one of the things we know as you look at the screen, you'll see the sales tax history. We know that sales tax in the city of Mansfield is the second largest source of revenue, and it's a blessing when we are a growing city. So by attracting entertainment destinations, additional shopping opportunities, unique dining experiences, we are continuing to actually strengthen our economy while reducing our reliance on property tax. And that's what helped us, as you mentioned earlier, that's what helped us, and rather than raise taxes after folks voted, giving us the opportunity to do that in order to expand our trail system, we actually, rather than raise them, we were able to lower them. So again, to the team, thank you very much for doing that. We appreciate you.
You know, if you could go back to that sales tax slide, I want to point something out that I hope you guys all leave here with is, if you go back to 2020, we were bringing in about $12.5 million a year in sales tax. Fast forward to 2025, and you're looking at almost 22 million in sales tax. That's an increase of 73%. And that's important, especially we've been talking about parks. We're going to be talking about new businesses coming to town, all of that kind of stuff. So we get 2 pennies, right? So 1 penny goes right into the general fund. A half a penny goes to fund the park system, and the other half penny goes to fund our economic development efforts.
Sir. You know, Joe, something I think that we can all relate to is that it's a great thing when we're able to pay down debt. We're able to pay things off early. You want to talk a little bit about that, sir?
Sure. So one of our debt relief strategies is something we refer to as defeasance, or paying down debt early. And the city's done that several years in a row. You can see that up on the screen. And our ability to do this really is attributed to 2 things. One, it's a conservative approach to estimating revenues, and then it's outstanding work managing budgets by our chiefs, executive directors, and the finance staff. So they really do a great job, and that allows us to just pay off debt early, which means less interest that our taxes go to.
And you know, one of the things I think that is important for us to understand in that regard, you know, in order to do that, it puts us in a good light also with our rating agencies, you know, as well.
Yes, sir.
So we're able to celebrate a lot of that. And of course, the level of consistency that we have seen from one administration to the next. You want to speak to that, sir?
Sure, you can see it up on the screen. Our finance department has been awarded the Distinguished Budget Presentation Award for 39 consecutive years. And they've received the Excellence in Financial Reporting Award for 36 years in a row. I don't know what happened in those first 3 years. Maybe this award didn't exist, but I'm sure we'd have scooped that up if it was. But a lot of this is attributed to our finance department, and Deputy City Manager and Chief Financial Officer Troy Listina is in the house. He and his team do an outstanding job at this, making sure that we're fiscally sound and in good shape with the rating agencies.
Without a doubt. Thank you, Troy, and thank you to that team. And also, you'll see our utility, our bond ratings, that they are at AAA. That's the highest that we can go. And you'll note also our AA1 in our Economic Development Fund, and also our Parks Fund. That is just one tick below that AAA. So again, the team, and that mindset that we share together, that conservative mindset in regard to the way that we handle our people's finances, your stakeholders. So know that you're in mighty good hands, and the data don't lie. So we appreciate that. All right, so we are finally at the place where we get to talk about what is coming soon. What is coming soon to Mansfield? Well, we are making a transition. Joe, talk about us transitioning out, and then the next things that are coming.
So it goes without saying that as a city grows, so does the school district, right? As more people move to town, more kids come and they go to school here. And, so growth is true for the city as it is for the district. City Hall is actually a new City Hall is being constructed at the intersection of Regency Parkway and Heritage Parkway. You can go by it today and see the steel up, so please do that. It's at the northeast corner of Heritage and Regency. And when we move out of City Hall, we're anticipating doing that in early 2027. The school district administration is moving into the existing City Hall. So they will make good use of that facility. So, as the city grows, district grows, so must the staff that services their needs, and we're really excited about that.
And even now, I don't know if you drive by there, you'll see that school district isn't waiting on us, buddy. They're already building a public safety facility behind our old City Hall. We're on our way out, but here's the new one. This is what is coming. And ladies and gentlemen, this is Mansfield City Hall, 2027. Outstanding. We love it. More civic space. I don't know how many of you attended Hometown Holidays. It was, I loved it. Grandkids loved everything about it. But I tell you, you could tell that we had outgrown where we are today. But that's going to give us an opportunity. That civic space around that City Hall is going to give us an opportunity to do a lot of great things. And Joe, I'm excited about that. And as you mentioned, the frame is already up. So it is happening. Just drive by there on Heritage and Regency and you will see it. We are excited about that. Now, those of you who have been to the downtown area, you also see that the dirt is moving at Broad and Main. Well, this is what's coming to Broad and Main Street. That's phase one of the Watermill Square. We're talking about retail. We're talking about restaurants, office spaces. It's bringing new business to the downtown area. We've been talking for years about doing that, and finally we get the opportunity to see it. It's a great thing when you see the dirt moving. So we're excited. Now that's new, but we also appreciate the businesses that spin here as well. So Joe, why don't you speak to those?
That's right. So growing new business, that's not everything that our Economic Development Corporation does.
Right.
They also help to invest in businesses that are existing here and want to grow or expand. Everyone's familiar with Mauser Electronics on North Main. They are the second largest employer in the city of Mansfield, second only to MISD. But they continue to expand here in Mansfield with additional production space, additional warehouse space, and we're glad to have them as part of the community. Another one is Klein Tools. Klein Tools is partnering with the city to expand its campus as the new Global Research and Development Headquarters. So they'll be bringing in 400 new jobs, all high-paying jobs to Mansfield, and that's a good thing because we know that about 93% of our residents, our working residents, travel outside of Mansfield to work. So that's good to provide those type of employment opportunities here in the city.
No doubt, and we're also proud to partner with James Sellers. James Sellers, I think, is, when you think about his story, that is a great American story about a gentleman who started his business right here in Mansfield in his garage. And that business is continuing to grow. He's been vital to the development of the Mansfield Innovation Corridor, and also just with his mindset, as James wants to see that we bring manufacturing from overseas back here to our shores here in the United States of America. And listen, James is not in here, but I want you to know that he is a vital part of who Mansfield, Texas is. And you talk about proud of a guy, he is that person that we should all be proud of, James Sellers and his family. Again, he's not here, but he does deserve a big round of applause. He's an awesome guy. He's an awesome guy. And what they have coming, you'll see what's being built right next to his company. Their headquarters there is Verdexium. The Verdexium team has put together also a little video I want you all to check out of what James is up to now.
That's really going to be a fantastic project. And that, if you're looking for it, Cellmark is just south of the new City Hall, just south of us on, across from Heritage, across from us on Heritage. Well, this is another project that's going in, again, right by the new City Hall, just to across the street, across Regency to the west of us. They've already broken ground on something they refer to as the Mansfield Innovation Community, and you'll understand why here when we get to a quick video. But the Mansfield Innovation Community is already having some fantastic partnerships in place. They're working with Verdexium in order to have R&D at the MIC, the Mansfield Innovation Community, and then manufacturing and production in Verdexium. So we're really excited about it. They're both able to see the concept of an innovation corridor on Heritage, and man, that's really taken off. We're excited about that. So we've got a video for this one as well, so take a look.
Tech and innovation coming together, where we dream it and then cross the street to Verdexium and they produce it and it's manufactured. That's what partnerships look like. That's Mansfield. We're looking forward to also some Class A, Tier 1 universities being the tenants in those buildings and also bringing a lot of that to life, and we are excited about that. So many of our residents, and Joe's mentioned it already, about 93% of our folks who work, they leave town. They leave town to go to jobs like these. Well, guess what? We want our individuals to be able to stay in town and spend their money in town, but also it helps with our traffic as well. So they will be here, they're produced here, manufacture, and we will not only bless the city, but you're talking about the country, because it is important that we bring jobs back to the United States of America. Manufacturing. That is important, and it's happening right here in our backyard. So that's a good thing, Joe.
It is. Mayor, at last year's State of the City, we introduced the community to a development called the Staybolt Street Entertainment District. And you guys have heard of that. That's where the stadium is. As a matter of fact, it'll be anchored by the new stadium. It'll have all kinds of retailers, restaurants, a number of entertainment destinations, hence the name, the Entertainment District, right? And when the stadium opens, we're expecting a real influx of visitors to Mansfield, and they're going to need places to stay. So we're going to take a look at a couple of the hotels that are coming to Mansfield around the stadium. What you're looking at right now is a place called Hotel Carbon. It'll have more than 450 rooms, and it's designed for athletes by athletes. It'll cater to the sports traveler, and it will also cater to people that are coming in town for conferences or conventions. And we'll get to that here in just a second. This is the rendering of the lobby of Hotel Carbon. And something I want to point out that's just really cool is you can see the exercise room up there at the top right corner of the slide. That's an exercise room that you can actually dial down the oxygen levels so you can mimic training at elevation. And really cool, very advanced. Can't wait for this to show up. We've got another hotel coming.
Oh, like us, brother. We don't need to be losing oxygen. I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
Oh, like you. I'm
yeah,
fine.
man. Oh, yes, you are. I see
about.
that gray on your face.
Oh.
Oh, I see it. I see
You did it.
You might be right. You might be right.
I might.
We have another hotel, the Cash Hotel. This is a hotel for gamers, Joe. You know that gamers, musicians, tech wizards. It's going to have 160 beds in this hotel, 40 pods for those that's really into the gaming and things of that nature. This hotel also is going to be bringing to town things that we'll be hosting. Actually, it'll be a drone races, which is quite mind-boggling. As you can see that, I definitely go to see that. I like when things are moving real fast, buddy. It's wild. You know, now they're telling me that you're able to get your aura points. So I'm gonna need my son. He's a younger guy. He can help me understand. I don't know what in the world. What is aura points?
I don't have a clue.
But it's on the script. So anyway, whatever that is, we're gonna have aura points. And tell me when this is over with, okay? Bless you, man. Your daddy love you. All right. So that's simply mind-boggling. But we got something else coming to town, which is a big thing, and wouldn't have been able to do it without my predecessor. And this is true. State Representative David Cook really helped us out in this area. Go ahead and speak to this, buddy.
Sure. So last but not least in the Staybolt Entertainment District is our very first convention center. So it's attached. It will be attached to Hotel Carbon and be a short walk away from the Cash.
Yes, sir.
And this opens up all sort of opportunities. You know, Mayor, I know you wanted to thank Mr. Cook, and that's appropriate. We'll be announcing the name of this convention center in the months to come.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, truth is, we wouldn't have been able to do it without him pushing that legislation through. So
it's true.
You know, and it's good. It's a good thing when you've got your own guy up there making things happen. So that's a hallelujah. All right. So when I became the mayor, the question was asked, when are we getting HEB? When is HEB? When, Mr. Mayor, when are we getting HEB? When? Is it coming? Oh, my God. Yes. And now we have HEB, and, well, stop it. That wasn't enough. Because after HEB, oh, we're going to get a Costco. Oh, we got HEB. Oh, we're going to get a Costco. We're going to get a Costco. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we're getting a Costco. It is coming, yes. Should open toward the end of the year. But stop it. That wasn't enough. Oh, gosh, we're going to get a, oh, well there's another specialty grocery store that we would like to know if we're going to get in town. So, my goodness, you can read the screen. But you didn't stop there. You keep on asking, what's coming next? Well, I can't tell you. But anyhow, but Joe, we tried.
No, it doesn't even matter. What we've learned this weekend is that HEB cannot stock enough milk and toilet paper for a light dusting of snow. So it doesn't matter how many grocery stores you bring to town. Costco can't even keep up with you guys. So, yeah. Mayor, let's go through a little bit of a lightning round. I know it's getting late in the evening.
All right.
I want to talk about some of the openings that you're gonna get here in 2026. Hilton Garden Inn will open in 2026 on Highway 287.
Yep.
At the Shops at Broad, everybody knows where the Shops at Broad are. Chewy's is opening next month. So that's great. Boomer Jacks will be opening shortly after them. Hideout Pizza, which is really kind of a South Texas thing. They're opening that concept at the Shops at Broad. It's really exciting.
Yeah.
Barnes & Noble is coming to town. And one that I think all of you voted for a year or so ago is Total Wine is coming to town.
One second. There are church members in here. I did not clap. I don't want to hear that Sunday. I did not clap. I know what 1 Timothy 3 says. I did not clap. Sign that, honey. Sign it.
We got you covered. Don't worry
You got
about
me covered?
it. We
Okay.
got you covered.
Well, hey, we got bowling coming now. How about that?
Yeah.
Yeah, we got arcade
So-
games, all that coming.
Yep. So one
All
other
right.
one other place that's coming is again out in the Staybolt Entertainment District is a place called High Five. Where you'll be able to play arcade games, go bowling, and we haven't had a bowling rink here, which is or bowling lanes here. Well, on a skate rink, it looks like I'm bowling. I mean, it's pretty bad. Or you could even rock out on the rooftop of High Five. They've got a 600-seat outdoor concert venue on the rooftop. It'd be really, really cool.
All right. You know what, Joe, we really need to, I mean, as y'all see this picture, that may have been 2021 or just a couple of days ago. We are so blessed to have men and women who get out and about, you see that, during the day, doing that kind of work when so many other people are hunkering down, you know, attempting to stay warm. We want to just thank all of them. And Joe, there are others. I mean, I just can't even name them all, the warming stations, things of that nature. You want to?
Yeah. You had the folks from the Mansfield Activity Center come in, worked all weekend and Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday as well to make sure that we had a warming station open for Mansfield residents that might have needed to get out of the cold.
Yeah.
In addition to that, the guys at the folks, the men and women at the water treatment plant worked 24 hours a day to make sure we had our system well managed. And then you talk about the folks at the animal shelter.
Animal shelter, yep.
Yeah, we've got a great staff there that were here all weekend, making sure that the animals that are in their custody are well taken care of. So, if you don't mind, you give a round of applause for the less popular departments that are out here. And this message is for you. I want to say on behalf of all of the men and women that work here in the city of Mansfield, we're grateful to you for your support. We don't always get that. And that's okay, but we're truly grateful to all of you for the support you give us and for the fact that you came out tonight to learn a little bit more about your community.
That's right. And we get to be here. We get to talk about all of these magnificent things because of just who you are, because of the contributions you make, because of your time, because of your energy, because of your concerns, because of the things that you just place in our hearts and our minds, and the things that you help us to know that we need to do, and even to do better. So if anybody asks you about the city of Mansfield, Texas, you can tell them that the state of our city is strong. God bless you. God keep you. Y'all have an outstanding night and be blessed. All right? Thank you so very much. We're done tonight. Thank you for coming. Thank you so much for coming. Have a great evening.